Hello, amazing caregivers. This is Melanie with Around the Way Training Consultants with our tip for the day. Okay, I see a message that says, okay, I have a dilemma. I need some advice. I'm an assistant director at a daycare. I have a family that have messaged me privately to ask me to babysit after hours on my off time. I'm a single woman with no kids. I have agreed to this. I'm very good at communicating with the director and the owner of the center about what I do in my off time. I'm very good with keeping babysitting separate from my daycare job. I won't even mention babysitting after hours while I'm at work. I do not advertise in any form of fashion at the daycare center. These parents have come to me privately off of work hours. Well, recently I've had a family to ask me to babysit for 2 weeks after hours. She would like me to take the kids home after daycare, feed them, get them into bed, etc. I'm okay with doing this because it is a temporary solution. However, the owner thinks it looks bad on the daycare, and if I take kids out of the daycare, she has asked, you know, she has asked me to research this and look into it and get other people's opinion. So this is problem number one. The second thing is now she's starting to talk to me in regards to babysitting after hours, indicating that I may show favoritism and it's a conflict of interest. So she wants to update the policy and put in the policy that employees cannot babysit for families that are enrolled in the daycare center. I don't feel this is right. I have been keeping open communication with both the director and the owner about these situations. I have respected their opinions and their wishes, but me babysitting after hours on my off time is my choice, and it's my free time. So, what are your thoughts? Okay, and what are your suggestions, etc.? Well, I kind of get both sides. I could see where the owner or the director would be afraid of any liability coming back to them because that particular relationship was established at that daycare center. So I could see them kind of being afraid or nervous about anything possibly coming back on them and them possibly getting sued for whatever reason because you're an employee. But there is an easy fix for this, okay? You are correct. That is your free time. They don't have the right to tell you what to do. In your off time. However, you have to put things in place where they won't be liable for your actions. You, the center, that parent, you need to sign a waiver of liability, basically spelling out what you do on your off time does not have anything to do whatsoever with the center. So the center cannot come back and be sued or held responsible for anything that you're doing while you have these kids in your care. If the parent trusts you, if the parent has been to your home, you guys have established that and it's outside of hours, that's really up to you guys. But you definitely want to make sure you put something in writing. So if something does go sour, that parent does not try to come back and harm the daycare center based off of whatever has taken place. Now, you sound like a really good person. So I don't really think for the most part, but you never know. And to be honest, children get hurt in the child care centers while if you're a predator, you're going to prey at them at the center as well. You wouldn't wait till you take them to your home to do anything negative to them. So that in itself is something to think about as well, because if you were going to hurt them, you probably would have hurt them at the center and the parent would not be comfortable with you. So get the form together, write a waiver, make sure that the child care center doesn't have any liability. Additionally, you need to make sure that you're on the pickup and drop off list for those particular children's, especially according to whatever your state law, whatever your state regulations are. So they definitely can't tell you what to do with your off time, and they certainly can't tell the parent what to do with their child or who to trust their child with. However, you do want to make sure that you're being fair. To address and I've seen several daycares that actually does that. I've seen it on both ends where they're like, no, you can't do it, but that is something that was established before the person, that they're notified when they're hired, not necessarily made just because of that particular person. And I've seen it go the other way where it's a positive thing. I've seen where several people have decided to, where it was welcomed at some daycare centers. I guess it just depends on your town, the city, or, whoever you're working for. As far as favoritism, if you're a professional, you should know how to not show favoritism while you're at work. And I could see the concern if you were a teacher, but you indicated that you were a assistant director. So unless you're physically in the classroom with those children, I don't know how much of a big deal with favoritism you could possibly show. As far as the conflict of interest, I don't really think it's a conflict of interest so much other than, the center being afraid that something could possibly go back on them. So if you put those things in place, then I think everybody would be satisfied. Have a great day.